Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to be learning about how to make the find underscore search.php file for our search bar that we have created in our top bar. Now to do this, first thing you're going to need to come to a page on our website, just like before. You're going to need to click on this link here to download a zip file. And then if I was just go to where I extracted it, you need to then extract a zip file. And once you have extracted it, you should get something that looks like this. You should get a folder that says find underscore search, and then inside that should be a folder called search. Double click on that and then you get loads of files here. You get some PHP files, some text files, some folders, and with these you're not going to want to touch any of these as in coding wise, but what we need to do is we need to upload all these files to our website. So what we're going to do is I'm going to push it over to this side of the screen. And then this is Windows 7, so I can easily snap it and then bring FileZilla over and then snap that side. And then what I'm going to want to do is I'm just going to connect to my site as it's displayed here. Now for this I'm just going to use an example of a YouTube tutorials website, which is youtubetutorials.site11.com. I think that's it. And I'm going to need to scroll to where the file's located, so here, search, and then you're going to need to highlight all of these simply by just putting your cursor in a white space, clicking the mouse but holding it down, and then just simply dragging it up. You should see a little grey square and all the ones should become selected, and then you just want to deselect the text file simply by holding down your control key and clicking on the text files. The reason why we don't want the text files because they are not going to have anything to do with the actual function of the search box. So I'm just going to code these and upload them. Now I recommend you upload them straight into your home directory, where also your index pages and style.css like that, and it works better that way, and it's less coding, to be honest. Well, less coding changes. So let's just wait for this to upload. Right, so that is now uploaded. As you can see, it has now all uploaded. I'm just going to check my instructions. What I do is I always like to create I just create a little mini script for my screencast. So the second thing we need to do is create a MySQL database. Now you're going to need to do this on your web hosting, or you can do it on offline websites, but I'm not going to show you how to do that in this tutorial. I'm just going to show you how to do it using your web hosting. So for this particular website, I'm going to use web hosting of 000 web host. I'm just simply type that in, and I'm just going to go to the members area, and I'm just going to quickly log in. And I'm just going to go to here. This should be, yes, is that. So there you can see here they've uploaded, and let's double check that. So they're all in there. Sorry, it's youtubetutorials.webege, so webedge.com. Okay, link is in description. If I go to my cPal, you should scroll down to, now every hosting service is sort of the same. Not everyone will have MySQL, but I use it as a web host. Now for free service I recommend this, but if you want a popular service that is going to be up all the time, you're going to run into any problems or anything, I recommend GoDaddy. But GoDaddy, you just click on MySQL database and then you create that the same way as you do it in 00 web host. So scroll down to where it says software and services, and I'm going to click on MySQL. Now if I just refresh that, there we are. It says here I need to create a new database and user, so I'm going to try and do a database and name. Okay, so I'm going to want to do a database username. I'm just going to call this searcher. I'm going to just call it research. And for the username, I'm also going to put it as search. And then for a password, I'm just going to create a password of password. And click on create database. And I've just got an error here saying password both includes letters and numbers, so I'm going to do password 01 password 01. Click create database. It says here it was a success, created in 1 minute. It says use these details for your PHP scripts, which is exactly what we want. So it says here my host, database username and password. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm now going to want to once we've created the SQL database, you're going to need to come back into FileZilla or the FTP program you use, and you're going to need to come into your API folder, I think it is, and then you should see a config.php. Now you do not want to do the config default, just config.php. You want to right click on that and click file permissions. You should see here a window that says change file attributes. At the moment it's set to 644, but we need to change this to 0666, and as you can see it's only going to be allowed to be read or write by both the owner and publicly. We do not want execute because there isn't any script to execute, is in external sort of sources, and we don't want the public to be able to execute certain scripts that they shouldn't be able to. So once you've done that, just click OK. Now I see here FileZilla, it's told us it was successful. So now we are going to want to insert our meta tags into our HTML files. Now meta tags are description and the keywords which the search will pick up. So I'm going to come back into Dreamweaver. I'm going to open up our index page. Here it is. So we're going to want to come into code view, and then here where you have the title, just going to create a new line under that. We're pushing enter, and then you're going to want to do a meta tag by simply going the back arrow and then meta. Now in Dreamweaver it suggests it for you, and then you're going to type and then do space, and then it says here we get a list of different things we could have. We want a name, and then equals. Now if we in quotations you want to type description. You can see here in Dreamweaver it already has description, so I'm just going to double click on that. So once you wrote that in quotations, you then want to do a space and click and then write content in quotations. Or sorry, not in quotations. And then equals, and then in quotations the description of the website for this. I'm just going to say YouTube tutorial website. There we are, and then we're going to just simply close that off. Now Let's just go over this quickly. This tells us a description, which is describing the page, and this content is basically what you want the description to be. So for this, I'm just calling it YouTube tutorial website. But if it was, say, a medical website, you would say put something like, this website will teach you about how to deal with day-to-day medical problems and free tips and advice on medication. You could put something like that on a medical website, or if it's a book website, you could say the latest books, the latest reads, latest reviews on booksdirect.com. I don't know if that's real or not, but hey, this is YouTube. But anyway, we now need to create a new line under that, and then we are going to then do another meta tag. But this time, we are going to need a name of keywords. And then obviously space, and then content again. So each meta tag has the same layout. The only thing you change each time is the name. So in quotations, for the content, we are going to want to type in all the keywords associated with this web page, and they have to be separated with a comma. Now, keywords can be 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, whatever, but I recommend keeping it to about 1 or 2 words. So I'm going to say YouTube top bar tutorial demo site, something like that, and then just close that off. Now you notice with meta tags, when you close them off, you don't close them off the same as a div. You don't do /div, you just put a slash and then the arrow. You don't actually put /meta, because that, for meta tags, this is incorrect. I'm just going to save this now, and I'm going to go over the keywords. So we have a meta name of keywords, which basically means the tags associated with the website or web page, I should say. Now you, for every HTML page you have, you will need to copy and paste these 2 lines here onto every page, and then just change the words in them rather than typing it out each time. You could keep the same words, but for it to be most effective and professional, change the words. And these 2 lines are very important. If you do not have these, your search engine will not work, because it will have no pages or keywords to pick up. So as I was saying, the keywords basically like the tags of a HTML page, just like if you was uploading a video to YouTube and you have to put the tags in there. This is exactly the same thing, only it's for a search engine, not a video. So once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and save it, and then the next thing we need to do is, once we've uploaded that, we need to go to our website address and add the admin folder extension on. So for this, I'm going to go to Google Chrome and go to YouTube tutorials.webedge.com/admin. Now if we uploaded this right, it should come to a page like this, and as you can see here, it is our search engine admin page. Now the beauty about this script is not only is it free, but it does all the hard work for you. All you need to do is basically type in information, and then it'll automatically add the code and configure the files yourself, rather than going into the PHP and do PHP coding. It's so much easier, and I've got to give the guy who created this a big thumbs up and shout out. So if I click on purchase, the guy was PHP dash development. We've got this guy, big thumbs up, mate. This is such a brilliant script and for free. And if you wanted to upgrade it, you just click on this link here. Now, the reason why I upgrade it for $5 is because with the unregistered version, you can only index up to 25 pages. Now, this is alright for this website here, but if you've got a lot of websites, or if it's a website like YouTube or something where it's got lots of videos on, then you would need to pay for it. But if you've got under 25 pages, keep it free. And now, I was searching on the internet for different ways of creating the find_search.php file, and this was by far the best way I found it, so thank you very much. This is such a good script, and yeah, so go to this guy's website, check him out. But getting back to it now, first thing we're going to need to do is come down to the quick guidelines, and we're going to want to create, here it says installation, and it says chmod, which is basically what we did, and that is the file permissions. And it says here to make it writable, so it's able, so this script is able to then change the coding in the file, because it doesn't do it on your computer hard drive, it does it live on the website, but public users will not be able to see this. They'll only be able to see it if they know the exact address of the file. But no need to worry about that. You should see here we have several hyperlinks. We have one here is configure, so we're going to click on that. So that wasn't the script sort, that was my fault. Was just particularly that at the moment 00 web hosts are currently going under some management because they need management basically, so they are managing it, so the servers are a bit busy. But now it's working, I can show you it. So we've got configure here, and we've got all these settings here, but the only thing we're going to need to change is display settings and MySQL access info. You do not have to change the display settings, but you can if you want to. So it says here, search results per page. I'm going to change this to 10, because I like to keep things nice and neat, and you don't want a big, massive, long list of search results, because it might take a little while to search through than if you have several pages where it's broken up. So once you've done that, the same thing you're going to need to change. You need to scroll down to where it says MySQL access info. Now what you need to do is you need to come back to your web hosting, and all these details you see here are in this database configuration bit. So we are going to need to do our host name. Now for some website hosting it's localhost, but for most things like GoDaddy and 00 web host, it is a special host name. So I'm just going to copy this, which is here. It says MySQL 14.00webhost.com. Now a username is here. 900 web host. It also, when you enter the database name, it also adds it onto your username. It's just the way they do it. Each person does it differently, but I'm going to copy and paste that into the name, and also going to do it for the database name, because I always like to keep the database name and username both the same, because it just makes it a lot easier. And then if you have because if you have loads of databases, say if you have 20 databases, say some might be for adverts, some might be for different searches, others might be for email scripts such as contact forms, etc. Then it's going to be quite hard to remember. If they all have different username and database names, it's going to be hard to remember which one. But if you keep them the same, it's going to make it a lot easier, because then you only have to remember 20 or 20 names then, or 10 if you mainly use 10 rather than say 20 or 40. So it's a lot easier. Now password, Our password was password01, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. Then we're going to click on, you should see here, table prefix. Just leave this. This is basically just the table it's going to create when it does a database creation thing. Okay, so you're going to click on submit. It will come up at the top with a thing of my SQL tables are not yet created. I'm just going to come down, and we also need to come down to the spider settings, and we need to change our domain name. This is also very, very important, because if you do not do this, it will not search the pages of your website. Now, if you wanted to search for other websites, you obviously put the domain here, but for your own one, you're going to need to do that. So, with this one here, I'm going to do www.youtubetutorials.webed.com. I'm just going to copy and paste this into here. Okay, and then just come down to submit. And then once you've got those configured, so that was the display settings, my SQL access, and the spider settings, you'll then see at the top says my SQL tables are not yet created, and it gives us a link here. Now this is also another beauty about this script. It doesn't give you step-by-step instructions, because once you've done one step, it will then give you a link to the next step to help you do it in order. So we're then going to click on created, and it will create the tables in the database, and it's done this again, and it says here create tables done. That's simple. As soon as you create the link, as soon as you click the link, it creates the table straight away. There's no process of typing in anything to create the tables. It's done. It's so good and simple and easy. Especially if you're a beginner at creating websites. That's also another reason why also these tutorials are so long, is because I break it down into the nitty-gritty stuff, not just for beginners but also for advanced users, just to help you remember it and make it life easier. And got no pages indexed, so you can click on a link for index, click on that. And just before we click on that, you are going to want to re-upload all your HTML pages you made changes to when you added the meta tags. So here it was index HTML. I'm just going to need to re-upload that. Right, so okay, I've uploaded that index.html, which is the one I put the meta tags in. So I'm then going to come back to my Google Chrome, and I'm going to refresh this page. And it says here index website. It says no pages indexed, but down here it will tell you that we have it's found 7 words. And it's indexed the one page, which is obviously the home page here. And if you want, you can just click on that again to re-index it, and you can see here it says index website. I'm also going to just quickly create another page for this. I'm just going to call this let's say youtube.html. and it's going to be exactly the same thing, apart from this is just going to have YouTube tutorial and demo in. Okay, save. Then I'm going to re-index this once I've uploaded it. So here we need to refresh. Go to youtube.com. There we are. Refresh this, index it. So then once you've done that, that's it created. Come back to home. It will say here, total index words, total index pages 1. So now what we need to do is, once we've done that, we click configured, we've configured SQL database info, we've added our domain names and click created and index. We need to now manually create our find search.php simply by saving our main page as find_search.php. So as you just saw me just now, I'm going to come into Dreamweaver, go to my index.html, which is this one here, and then go to File, Save As, and then find_search.php. Now you'll see why we'll do this in a minute. Now it has to be PHP because we're going to need PHP coding, which is what we're going to do next. So you're going to need to come back into that folder you extracted, and then you need to come to the file that says add to page.txt or txt. Double click on that, and it will see here, it will say this is the PHP you need to add at the top of the page, and this is the one you need to add at to the content. So we're going to simply highlight this line, and then Control C or right click, copy, and come to find search.php, go to the code view, go all the way to the top, even this doc type here, just click before that, and then put that on a new line. What's wrong one? That one there, and then paste that there. Now if you've kept it the same folder structure as me and done what I told you to do, which is putting it in your home directory, you don't have to do that, but it's best if you do that, because then you don't have to change this, otherwise you would have to change it. Now this here, this PHP coding here, you need to copy this, but you can paste this anywhere on your page so long as it is within your body tag. But you can paste this anywhere because this is basically the code which is basically going to show where the search results are going to be. So I'm just going to place this down in this div here. Again, you shouldn't need to change any of these if you put it in your home directory. Then simply, that's all of it. So you can close this now, and you just go to File, Save, and now we need to upload these files. So if I just to refresh this, you can see we now have the find search.php. So if I go and drag that into here to upload it, you see it's now uploaded. And now hopefully, if this has worked, if we go to our main website address, it says here, hello YouTube, this is some test text. The reason why it's not coming up as that, because I haven't uploaded everything we need. So if I come to this picture here, this style.css, you need to upload these as well. Now this is also important as well, because in your HTML files, if you've linked it to a style sheet here, that is going to be one that you make yourself, then you need to also upload that along with your index.html and put it in the location you wrote in your Dreamweaver or CSS file. So now hopefully, if I were to go back to Google Chrome and refresh that, hang on a minute, let me get it working. Okay, we have now successfully uploaded all the files we need, And now if we go to the main web address which we have here, which for this is I'm using youtubetutorials.webedge.com, that's .webege.com. This you'll see, this is the page we created in Dreamweaver. Now if we've uploaded the style.css, you'll see it's all formatted, the top bar staying where it is, etc. Our text is there. And now if we was to type into this search box, so say if I was typing YouTube and click search, you will see here it's now displaying search results. Now this is obviously here you would put this in. I'm just in this demo site. I've just got it in this div here, but you would format this into separate divs, and then you have also your links at the top or down the side with pictures, etc. And then this would be in another space. But since this tutorial isn't about that, I'll just put it straight here. Now you can see here it's found the page, our main index page. So if we click on that, takes us straight to the link. But if I go back, you can see in the address bar it says find_search.php, and then this question mark here and everything beyond this is using a PHP code we put in that PHP file to get the search results. Now, reason why I told you to save it as a PHP is because we're going to have the design in there, but it also allows us to put PHP code in there. So it says here YouTube, which is what we searched for, and then it also searches for the time, letter, and type, etc, etc. And it also tells us here when it was last updated, and how many pages it's found, and how many HTML files or files it's found. And this particular script is quite fast. You see it found it in 0 seconds, which is very fast. So now if I was to type in something we didn't put in there, say for example Photoshop or Dreamweaver, you can see it says no results found. Now you see this white line here, there is actually another one of these search boxes there, but because I haven't formatted it properly into separate divs, it's not showing. But if you click on this link here, it says advanced search. You can then choose whether you want all of these words to be searched for in that box, none of these words, or exact phrase. So if you wanted to be very specific and say GIMP YouTube tutorial, and you wanted to search for exactly that rather than just those keywords, then you would type that in, push search, leave these things blank, and it will show only the pages of that exact keyword in, which is why I said keep it to about 1 or 2 words. But if you want the user to be able to do exact phrases, then do exact phrases in the keywords. But if you didn't want that to come up, if you want pages that only had all the keywords in except for GIMP Photoshop tutorial, or YouTube tutorial I should say, then you would type that in there and then again push search. Or if you wanted all the words, just type it in there, push search. It's simple. Or if we go back to quick search, it will then take us back to here and to our previous results. And at any time you add more pages, you just need to come into your admin bit of your site. It tells you how many searches there have been for the last day, and then you just need to click on index website again, and then it would index all the pages it's found, etc. according to these keywords and description. So basically it works exactly the same as Google, but only it's a custom service on your website. So that's it for this tutorial, and don't forget you can visit my personal blog at thomas.tc.camille.com. It hasn't been updated in a while because I'm working on the rest of the pages for it and my other website. And if you want to go to the Forum of Geeks, which is not quite ready or finished yet, then simply click on Geeks on there, or go to forum.tc.camille.com, the Forum of Geeks. You can download free tech ebooks from freetechabooks.com. You can see they're pretty recent. There's been one today, one for the 21st of January. And you can sign in and sign up with an account. But these tutorials are coming in the future. And also, if you click on here, you'll see you can comment using your Facebook account. So you log in with your Facebook account and then comment. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, go to twitter.com/ThomasCarterUK, a profile picture, and see my recent tweets and stuff. Obviously you're on my YouTube channel now, but if you're not, then go to youtube.com/YolaComputers, or if you do not know how to spell that, simply go to tc.camille.com/YouTube, and it will redirect you to my channel page. And finally, if you want to watch my live stream, where I'm streaming every weekend from about 9 to 7ish, then go to live.tc.camille.com. And also you can also join the chat room. Every time you do that, the chat room's always going to be there, but the live stream isn't. And it also gives you several links as well as down here, and links to my Ustream, YouTube, Forum of Geeks, and Chris Perillo's blog, where he also does latest blog posts and stuff. I recommend you also go to him. But yeah, watch my live stream at live.tc.camille.com. Geek out.